Okay, we are on video some number greater than 1, and this is Article 3, the Judicial Branch. Section 1, Judicial Powers. The judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court, and in such inferior courts as the Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. The judges, both of the Supreme and inferior courts, shall hold their offices during good behavior, and shall, at stated times, receive for their services a compensation which shall not be diminished during their continuance in office. So this just says, hey, Supreme Court's a thing. Also need other courts because you don't want the Supreme Court doing everything. Section 2, Trial by Jury, Original Jurisdiction, and Jury Trials. In all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls, and those in which a state shall be party, the Supreme Court shall have the original jurisdiction. In all other cases before mentioned, the Supreme Court shall have appellate jurisdiction, both as to law and fact, and with such exceptions and under the regulations as the Congress shall make. So this is basically saying, okay, Supreme Court, they're to go to for certain cases, and if other cases kind of go up because people didn't like the outcome and they want to appeal, then the Supreme Court becomes a place to appeal as well. The trial of all crimes except in cases of impeachment shall be by jury, and such trial shall be held in the state where the crimes shall have been committed. But when not committed within any state, the trial shall be at such place or places as the Congress may by law have directed. So, jury trial. Good thing, bad thing? Depends who's on your jury, yes. Treason. Treason against the United States, Section 3, treason, yeah. Treason against the United States shall consist only in levying war against them or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. No person shall be convicted of treason unless on the testimony of 2 witnesses to the same overt act or on a confession in open court. Okay, so you actually have to be at war with somebody for it to be treason. The Congress shall have the power to declare the punishment of treason, but no attainder of treason shall work corruption of blood or forfeiture except during the life of the person attainted. Okay? I never really paid attention to that wording before. Corruption of blood. Ooh. Article 4, the states. Section 1, each state to honor all others. Full faith and credit shall be given in each state to the public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state, and the Congress may, by general laws, prescribe the manner in which such acts, records, and proceedings shall be proved, and the effect thereof. Record keeping. Section 2, state citizens, extradition. The citizens of each state shall be entitled to all privileges and immunities of citizens in the several states. Person charged in any state with treason, felony, or any other crime who shall flee from justice and be found in another state shall, on demand of the executive authority of the state from which he fled, be delivered up to be removed to the state having jurisdiction of the crime. So don't think you're safe if you go across the state border. Section 3, new states. New states may be admitted by the Congress to this union, but no new state shall be formed or erected within the jurisdiction of any other state, nor any state be formed by the junction of 2 or more states, or parts of states, without the consent of legislatures and states concerning as well of the states concerned as well as of the Congress. Congress shall have the power to dispose of and make all needful rules and regulations respecting territory or other property belonging to the United States, and nothing in the Constitution shall be construed as to prejudice any claims of the United States or of any particular state. So, Congress decides. So you can't make a state, you can't like take a huge chunk out of Nevada and say, I'm going to call this new bumfuck land. Just the Congress can't do that on a whim. And the 2 Dakotas can't get together, decide they want to be like one amorphous blob and say, we're just going to be the Dakotas. And that's going to be the name of the state, the Dakotas. So basically saying everybody's got to approve of this. And then, yeah, so Congress gets to make all the laws on the territories, which is why, like, the territories like Puerto Rico are getting fucked, and let's not forget all the other territories we have, Samoa, Guam, and, you know. By the way, you like the way I rolled my R's there? It was pretty good. Was it tight? Yeah. Section 4, Republican Government. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a Republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion and on application of the legislature or the executive when the legislature cannot be convened against domestic violence. Okay, so it's like, hey, we take care of you. You're one of us. Article 5, Amendment. The Congress, whenever 2/3 of both houses shall deem it necessary, shall propose amendments to this Constitution, or, on the application of the legislatures of 2/3 of the several states, shall call on convention for proposing amendments, which, in either case, shall be valid to all intents and purposes. It's intents and purposes. Okay? 3 words. As part of this Constitution, when ratified by the legislatures of 3/4 of the several states, or by conventions in 3/4 thereof, as the one or the other mode of ratification may be proposed by Congress, provided that no amendment which may be made prior to year 1808 shall in any manner affect the first and fourth clauses in the 9th section of the first article, and that no state without its consent shall be deprived of its equal suffrage in the Senate. So basically, this is telling you how new amendments can get added to the Constitution, either through the Congress or to 2/3 of Congress, or 2/3 of the states. Yeah, 2/3 of Congress, 2/3 of the states. You know, brain shuts down. It's getting late. But we've only got several more pages to go, so. Article 6, Debts, Supremacy, Oaths. All debts contracted and engagements entered into before the adoption of this Constitution shall be as valid against the United States under this Constitution as under the Confederation, Confederated States of America. This Constitution, so basically it's saying, hey, we're not going to just ditch on our debts just because we rebranded ourselves. The Constitution and the laws of the United States which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land. You know how many people don't know that this document is referred to as the supreme law of the land? So that raises the question, where's the problem? The education or the people? And the judges in every state shall be bound thereby, and anything in the Constitution or laws of any state the contrary notwithstanding. And I completely forgot what this said because I decided to interject. Yeah, so this is basically saying, hey, we're not changing anything just because we're doing the Constitution. The senators and representatives before mentioned, and the members of the several state legislatures, and all executive judicial officers, both the United States and several states, shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution, but no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. Let's read that last one again, shall we? Where the fuck did this sentence start? Let's read the whole thing. The senators and representatives before mentioned, and the members of the several state legislatures, and all executive and judicial officers, both the United States and of the several states, shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution, but no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. Important thing to note, don't you think? Article 7, Ratification. The ratification of the conventions of the 9 states shall be sufficient for the establishment of this Constitution between the states so ratifying the same. This is saying, hey, there's only 9 states, and that's all that, you know. Basically, we're only... So there was 9 states at the time. Wait. Basically, it was saying, like, hey, we're not gonna say this is a constitution unless everybody does. Done a convention by unanimous consent of the states, present the 17th day of September, the year of our Lord, 1787, and the independence of the United States of America, the 12th. In witness whereof we have hereunto subscribed our names. So pay attention to the date, 1787. Remember when the Declaration of Independence was signed? Wonder what happened between all that time. Might be interesting to know. G.O. Washington, President and Deputy from Virginia. New Hampshire, John Langdon, Nicholas, yeah, a bunch of fucking names. Okay, so that's the Constitution before all the amendments. And okay, next video we'll get into the amendments.